Yeah, it was a fast turnaround. We can figure something more permanent out maybe later, but I like it too for now.
Cool.
It's simple and it like keeps on the branding of
It
Chappie
does,
Chums
yeah.
and Green Dudes, so uh
Yeah, exactly.
all right. All right. Let's jump into this thing.
Hopefully this goes faster than the first one.
I think it will. I think it will. Uh all right. Hello and welcome to Who Dudes, a Doctor Who podcast. You are here with myself, your host. My name is Connor Mack. And as always, here with my co host, best buddy, and fellow Doctor Who fan, enthusiast, Whovian, whatever you want to call us. We haven't discussed the terms yet. But without further ado, Mr. Joshua O'Connor. Josh, how the
Hello.
heck are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I could have gotten more sleep last night, but that's my own fault.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do the night shift now, overnight, and so I got about like 5 hours of sleep, but that's okay because I'm off tonight, so I can kind of take a nap and sleep, and so
Oh,
um,
excuse me. Well, that's good. Yeah, no, I just stayed up late like an idiot after I watched this last night's episode, which we're not discussing in this podcast. We'll be discussing on next
yeah,
podcast.
yes,
Um,
yes.
and and then my dog threw up when I was trying to make my bed, so
Oh
that
no,
didn't help.
that's
She's
the
okay,
worst.
but
Good.
yeah, it was a mild inconvenience for 2 in the morning.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. The one thing I wanted to mention that's kind of been fun for this series so far is it's out. It comes out on Saturday more like for the East Coast where we live. It comes out at 3 a.m. Eastern on Disney Plus.
Oh, I
Um,
didn't know that. I just
yeah,
assumed it was
and
9 p.m. like every other show I watch at Disney.
no, yeah, it's a weird time. Well, I think because in the UK it's 8 a.m. or so. There's been some
Ah,
debates about what the right what the best time to do that is, but so I've been waiting until I get home after work and kind of watching it at like 8 in the morning, and it's been like a fun Saturday morning cartoon for me every week.
oh, that's
It's
yeah, that
been
makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah, it's been good. So this episode we're talking about episode number 2 from season 2 of Doctor Who, Disney era. I'm not sure. Uh, it's tricky. I still don't feel totally comfortable saying season 2 because it feels like I'm
Yeah,
talking about the first David Tennant season.
yeah. It does feel like just a smooth continuation of
Yeah.
what's been happening since 2005. So I don't know. It's still the same for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I understand the idea behind making that change, but it's for the people who are watching all along, it's like it's just like it's hard to get used to. Um, anyways, we're talking about Lux today, folks. Second episode of season 2 or series 15 or season 41. Uh, we kind of jump right in after the Robot Revolution ended. We have the 15th Doctor and Belinda. They land in Miami, Florida. They're in 1952. They're trying to make their way back to 2025, having some issues with that. And of course, while they're there, they discover some things are not quite right, and they are persuaded to stick around and figure that out. Um, Josh, how did you watch this episode? When did you watch it?
So I watched it right before Easter Sunday, and it was actually with my little brother,
Oh,
um,
nice.
who has seen
Is
some
he a
Doctor
Doctor
Who,
Who?
but
Okay, so
yeah,
he's
he's
not
seen
quite a
some
fan.
episodes, but he's not like keeping up with it at all. He's just like aware of the franchise. He knows I likes it. He had no idea what the fuck was going on. So while I'm texting, so for context, since this is only our second episode, well,
Yeah.
apparently what this podcast is Connor just wants to share what I text him when I'm watching episodes, because I text him as I'm watching the episode live with
Yeah.
random thoughts and moments of the show, and he just wants to go through that. So yeah,
Yes,
while I was doing that for
that's
this episode, I was also trying to explain it to my brother what the fuck was going on.
So yeah, you were playing double duty there. What did
Yeah.
what did he think of the episode?
Um, I think he liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a weird ass episode.
It is. Yeah, I mean,
So
especially for, if you're not super familiar with Doctor Who,
right,
it's bizarre, yeah.
but I
Well, I
think
mean,
once I
actually,
explained what
even if you are familiar with Doctor Who, it's a
it's a weird episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, after I explained kind of what was going on with the Pantheon, I think he just kind of rolled with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still a fun watch. And I was gonna say something else and I completely lost the train of thought.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I like I said, this was maybe the perfect Saturday morning showing for me, because a Saturday morning cartoon. This obviously is cartoonish. There's there,
Early.
this episode, really plays with the idea of a cartoon coming to life, and we'll get into that. So that was a blast. And I mean, it's funny that you say, uh, like this is a weird one to watch if you're not a Doctor Who fan, but I think for that reason, this episode has been going viral on TikTok. Like clips from it have been have been really
Huh.
popular on TikTok, and like
Well, I'm not on TikTok, so I wouldn't know.
no, I'm not either. I just have sources, TikTok sources. But people, like they're posting like clips, like the weirdest moments, and they're like, what even is this show? Like,
Well, it's from our discussion in episode 1. It's like it's weird and wonderful.
yeah, exactly.
And this definitely falls very much in the weird category.
Yeah,
and that's wonderful.
100%. Yes, 100%. All right, let's jump right into Josh's live text. So just imagine Josh sitting there with his brother
On the couch,
watching the episode, sharing his thoughts
just
with
like
me.
this.
Typing away.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so I'll jump right in. Ring-a-ding.
Well, no.
Oh.
Above that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doctor
you
Who
should
live
just-
text incoming.
Yeah, that's my warning that I'm starting to text
That's
you.
the warning. That's the warning.
And then I start my actual like reactions to the show.
Yes.
And then you actually responded real quick. So
I did. That was my mistake there. Atom bomb test. We see in the cold open, a classic atomic
Newsreel.
bomb. Yeah, testing newsreel. Like we're in vogue in the 50s. During the Cold War and all that.
I really like the announcer voice that was used for that. It was
yeah.
very period accurate, I felt like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Then I just say hell yeah, this one's insane, which is how I felt. Now we get into Ring-a-Ding, and here we have our setting. We're in a movie theater, in a 50s movie theater with people watching the show, and of course there's cartoons displayed on the screen, which was a very common thing back in the day before the main feature. There would be cartoons before all these commercials and trailers, and Josh just went to the movies last night, so
Yep.
would you have
Things have changed a
preferred
bit.
would you have preferred Mr. Ring-a-Ding to the previews you got last night?
Not after this episode.
Yeah, that's fair.
I probably wouldn't have minded like a Pixar short or something like that, but I've got to go see
Yeah.
Star Wars, so probably wouldn't have been very appropriate.
Yeah, that's a good point. Who knows what the main show was here? But it's like a classic.
We do know. I didn't text it, but it was on the marquee out front.
Oh yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the Harvest Bringer.
The Harvest, right? And they talk about the actor who's in it, and
Yes.
how Belinda wants to meet him or something like that.
Yeah, Rock Hudson. Yeah, that's
There,
true.
that's it. Yep.
and how yeah, you don't mention that, but how he was
Because I
I guess
completely miss.
she
Because they,
learned
they
about him in nursing class because he's I think he's one of the first big names diagnosed with HIV. I think that was
oh,
what they were talking about.
okay. I missed that.
Um,
I forgot that detail, but I caught them talking about the actor. I was like, all right, they're a little history lesson, neat. I completely missed the title of the show of the movie
oh
that's
yeah,
in the theater
yeah,
until it's brought up later, and I was
yes,
like, oh, son of a bitch.
I know it was right in front of us the entire time. We'll get to that. Josh says super moonbeam, which
Question mark.
question mark. Which Josh, do you want to explain this scene? It was
So this is when the moon like it's like the movie's playing, and then the guy controlling the was it Cunningham? Was his name Cunningham? Or am I
it
making
might have
that up?
been. He looks like a Cunningham.
Um, anyway, the guy running the movie projector is swapping out some reels, switching the screen from the atomic bomb test to the
Oh no, Josh, I think his name was Reginald.
that might be where I'm mixing it up.
That's why you're thinking Cunningham. Because then I know the doctor calls him Reggie for short. I think
Okay,
yeah, Reginald Pye, I think is his name.
okay, yes. For those not in the know, Reginald Cunningham is something we've been working on for a very
Yeah,
very long time.
that's an OC as they say. Original character.
Um, anyway, the yeah, so there's like an open window where the moon just kind of beams in the light that bounces off like 5 different surfaces before hitting the projector and getting projected onto the screen as Mr. Ringading. And that was just weird to me because it's like it's a beam, it's a moonbeam. Obviously, they're just showing the movie, but it looks like a very concentrated beam of light, uh, which is what I found to be strange. Oh, and it
Yeah.
bounces off a spoon, which reminded
Yes.
me of 12.
Yeah, definitely. I love the spoon. I mean, there's something about spoons in Doctor Who is, we have the seventh Doctor who plays the spoons. We have
I forgot
12,
about that.
obviously, who sword fights Robin Hood with a spoon. We have and then just in the last season, we have the 15th Doctor going to that desolated planet in Empire of Death, getting a spoon from that lady for its medal.
Oh yeah. Nobody suspects the spoon, but in this case, the spoon kind of fucks people over. So
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
that damn
that's an
spoon.
unfortunate placement. And so yeah, with the light beam reflected, things go wrong with this cartoon that the theater goers are watching. Your next text is "Don't make me laugh."
Yeah, that's Mr. Ringading's catchphrase, which
That's
I've
Mr. Ringading's catchphrase, and happens to be what's been stuck in my head for the last week and a half. I don't I don't know what it is about it, but
it's a very the original cartoon that Mr. Ringading is a part of is definitely very early animation style. Like I put it more at like 30s animation style than this appears to be 50s.
Well, no. So here's the thing: is Mr. Ringading's animation style is 30s. It's like
Yeah,
the rubber hose style from the 30s.
rubber hose. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to.
But in the 50s, those cartoons were commonly replayed at theaters. So
Okay.
it is still time period accurate.
So that would be like going to the movies in the early 2000s and watching like GI Joe.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Or the Transformers, getting an episode of Transformers.
I know, which would have been cool. I mean, I don't know.
Absolutely. Instead we got Michael Bay.
Yeah, that was something else. Next up, Josh, you say we're going 3D.
Yeah, so this is when he starts
You can
talking
imagine.
to the audience and starts coming out of the screen, which
They're very shocked at first. They for a second they still think that they're watching a program, and it takes them a
then so-
a second
yeah,
to like, wait, are you talking to me? What?
Yeah, he starts talking to the audience, and they're like, "Oh, this is a neat little trick." He's like, "No, this isn't a trick." And then he starts coming out of the screen. It's like, "Oh, this is going to be weird, campy humor, isn't it?" Because
Yeah.
I do not, I stay away from as many spoilers as I possibly can. I went into this only having seen the fucking next time clip at the end of the
Uh,
first episode.
yeah.
So, did I say what I thought it was going to be? Uh, oh no, I just said the movies are empty and the cartoon's alive last time.
Yes.
So yeah, we're I think that I was just assuming this was going to be just a weird monster of the week, and I was not suspecting the Pantheon at all. Um, or if I was suspecting the Pantheon at the time, it was very low on my list
Yeah.
of possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, because this is a different kind of manifestation of the Pantheon than we've
Mm-hmm.
seen. I mean, obviously, like
And there's been build up
Toymaker.
for them.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. There's usually some more build up. Obviously, Toymaker, Sutek are kind of like season finale level villains. Maestro is kind of another mid season.
Yeah, it's like a mid season end
Yeah,
of like villain to. So here we are, second episode, first major adventure with the new companion, where they're not just introducing her,
yeah.
and they just throw her in the deep end with a fucking Pantheon god.
Yeah, which is insane because it's like, well, do you do this all the time? And the
Subvert
answer,
expectations.
yes, subvert expectations. But like the Doctor doesn't like he doesn't really face gods all the time. This is kind of new. I mean, he's getting used to it, but
Mm-hmm.
the it is a funny second adventure for Belinda here. And so yeah, this fucking cartoon come to life is now terrorizing a movie theater, and we go into the theme. Um, so we get back into the TARDIS, and we have the Doctor and Belinda talking. I think this is where they mention, Belinda's obviously whether they're talking about trying to get back home.
Right.
And the Doctor does mention Gallifrey after, I think Belinda inquires about that.
Take us back to planet Time Lordia.
Yes, she says, "Where do the Time Lords live? Take us back to planet Time Lordia," which is very funny. I think the Doctor's like, "Oh, I wish it was named that," or something. Like,
Yeah.
which it's pretty funny. And obviously the Doctor he's withholding some information here from her. And,
As he always does.
as he always does.
But he is more forthcoming than he usually is, which I think
Oh
is
yeah, absolutely.
a choice for this particular incarnation.
Yeah,
as we saw in the specials.
100%. And I mean, because I mean, for previous incarnations, it would have just been shrugged off. He wouldn't have even mentioned Gallifrey by name. He wouldn't, there's levels to this repression that go deep, especially with some of the I think 13 is one of the most depressed doctors of all time. But they all have different levels of repression. 15 here is the one that's kind of he wears his heart in his sleeve. And so yeah, absolutely, it's great. It's great. It's a great character arc that we've kind of watched over 15 seasons. So the Doctor now is kind of like laying under the TARDIS console and brings out a little thingamajiggy, and he calls it a vortex indicator, a vindicator, if you will.
Yes, I'm in the middle of a D&D show where it takes place in space, so the players just are making jokes all the time of like it's a space whatever,
yeah.
But then they force force it into a portmanteau of whatever.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, it's the space cow, a spow, if you will.
Yeah. That reminds me of when Connor Kelly was calling space babies spabies.
Exactly that kind of thing.
Yeah, which kind of sounds like a disease or something, but
it kind of does.
Scabies.
Something you need lemons for.
Yes. So yeah, this is a cool like device that they're using to like
It
slingshot back to Earth or back to
no, they're
2025.
using it to like like triangulate where they need to go or something like that. It's like a beacon
Yeah.
at least. I like how it looks like a electric guitar,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
when they're
you're
dressed up
right.
to go out in the 50s.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Rad.
Next episode, it doesn't quite fit as much, but it's not really as relevant next episode as much. It's not really relevant in this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, well, it's just a it's a device that they use, to fulfill the series plot, the where they're trying to get Belinda back home, and for some reason, just carrying a device like this around and having it consistent from like it makes me think of like something the Fourth Doctor would do, like a Fourth Doctor season, just like something in the background,
Maybe.
like some device in the background he's carrying, um, kind of
But also,
reminds me
like,
of like that season where when the TARDIS was in like stuck in random mode or something. I
which
really
season is that?
appreciate a new. I don't know. That was
Doesn't narrow down much.
yeah one of the teens. But yeah, I appreciate a new gadget, a new gizmo
Yeah.
to
I also
haul
like
around.
how it doesn't take that long to use. They just have to set it up outside the door, but it's Doctor
Yeah,
Who. Like this episode,
yeah,
they say, "Oh, there's a theater. Let's go check out the theater." It's like the Doctor just wants to explore and be the Doctor, and then the next episode they jump from a ship, and it's like, "Well, we're done. How do we get back to the ship?" And they're like,
yeah.
"It's going to be at least 5 hours."
I mean,
Okay,
they're sucked in. Of course, they're sucked in, and
yeah, but I like it's
we
a
get
MacGuffin
into it.
that doesn't suck anything out of the story. It's just like, all
Yeah,
right, we got to step out the door and put it down for 30 seconds, and we're done.
yeah,
And a lot can happen when the Doctor's outside the TARDIS for 30 seconds, apparently.
yeah. Very true. I mean, in this episode, really just his sense of curiosity, and like
Yep.
noticing things. To Belinda's dismay at first, but before we get out of the TARDIS, Josh, we have a quote from the 15th Doctor. It says, "This is the fun bit, honey, the clothes." Because Belinda's like, well, I can't go out there in the 50s if I'm dressed up like from the robot planet still, and these drab tan
Still in
clothes.
like
And
her,
so,
yeah, still like her pajamas.
yeah, yes, yep, yeah, no, well, that's just crazy because she was woken up in the middle of the night after getting who knows how much sleep, and she
Mm-hmm.
was dragged to one crazy adventure. Now she's smack dab in the next. When will she get any rest? I don't know. And so then,
Off screen.
so yes, I guess. But when the episodes pick up one after another, it's like there's no time for her to take a nap. But hopefully eventually she will. Uh, now the 15th Doctor is excitedly showing her they're running to the TARDIS wardrobe, getting
Yep.
fitted in a 1950s appropriate era dress. And this is a mirror to the very similar scene with the Ruby in the first season where when they go to the 60s and meet the Beatles.
Right.
So I think there's still a bit of the 15th Doctor trying to woo her and entice her, with the perks of having a magic time traveling box with clothes. Then he mentioned that the Vindicator looks like the guitar, hoping he channels
Yeah.
12 a
Or,
bit. That would be cool. If
oh
he should try
yeah.
to air guitar on it or something. Maybe
Yeah.
eventually.
Things quickly spiraled away from that little
Yeah,
thought that I had,
yeah,
but that would have been cool if it was like air guitaring on like the police car or something. I don't know.
yeah, definitely. 1952. That might be wise. Looking at his hand, I think this is an allusion to they're in the 50s, which is segregated, racist, and
Yep.
the Doctor is a black man, and companion is of Eastern Asian descent, and so things might not be as hunky dory, if you will, for them as previous TARDIS teams. We do get into that a little bit. They
A little bit.
immediately
Really.
notice the cinema,
Yes.
and like you mentioned, Josh, it's chained up. Who chained up a cinema? Who chains up a cinema? Uh, and they can, I think they can kind of hear things inside. It's not or they think they can.
Yeah,
Um,
there's like a movie playing or something.
yes, there's a movie. Yeah, yeah. And so, you know, this is the pull right here where the doctor's like, well, what if we just what if we just stick around and like try and see what's going on with this theater here, and it doesn't take too long for him to convince Belinda to stay, um, and she calls him out in a way nobody has ever done before, and says, "You're Scooby Doo. You want to solve the mystery," and then it comes back with one of the best 15th Doctor lines. Yeah, and he says, "Honey, I'm Velma," which is like hilarious and also true. Uh,
Yeah.
with I thought that was very funny.
Yep.
And also kind of a hint at a different animation style we'll see later in the episode.
Oh, you're right. I don't think I ever consciously made that connection. Like I knew
Yeah.
the animations looked familiar, but the Scooby Doo style was not the direct
Yeah.
connection that I made.
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera.
Exactly.
The Josh, you point out this is the most direct Doctor Who's been with segregation. Surprised they waited for 15-second season. This is not. I don't think this is quite true. There was the episode with Rosa Parks in the 13th Doctor's first season.
Right, but I meant was
But
15 specifically.
yes,
Because
exactly. The
13
Doctor.
was
Yes, the Doctor was not. I mean, black or had to face segregation directly. You're absolutely right about that. And
right.
I mean, people can you know, the Rosa Parks episode is kind of divisive within the fandom.
No shit.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like what isn't at this point? I I'm not the one to say, oh, which episode handled segregation better. I don't really know. I don't really have the answer to it, but I do like this episode better.
Mhm.
Just that's about it.
My point with that text was like this is the most direct that 15's character has had to deal with segregation,
Yeah,
and racism in general.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but even then, it's not really present. It's just kind of mentioned, and like the person behind the counter in the diner is like, well, it's like 2 a.m. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I do think, and that's a young kid that's working at the diner. I think I think a lot of these cases too are like, well, uh I know it's not a one-to-one, but I mean the youth is a lot of times more accepting than the older
Mm-hmm.
generation. So it wasn't too much of a of you know, didn't pull me out at all or anything. Yeah, so they're in this diner and asking around, and I mean the way they handle racism here is great because Belinda kind of confides in the doctor about how, you know, that makes her nervous. She's feeling off kilter about it, and which is totally understandable. And the doctor, he has this great line that says he says, sometimes I topple worlds, other times I wait for them to topple, for worlds to topple themselves, or something like that. Um,
Mm.
and so that was really a great doctory line, and pretty much he's saying like, yeah, like I'm just gonna you know, not let it uh get in the way of what I'm doing here, which is getting to the bottom of this mystery, as Velma would.
Right.
And and um he says, so you know, he says kind of harshly to Belinda, like, we don't have time for this, we have to, let's figure this out. And yeah, and they talk to like a woman who it's revealed now that the 15 people in the movie theater were, they went missing after this showing with Mr. Ringading. Um, and so that's why it's locked up. It was a big small town kind of incident, and I think it happened like a month ago or something like that, or a few months ago. And
It
the
wasn't
one
months. Oh man, I thought it was weeks, but yeah.
it could have been. I could be wrong, but you know, it has one of the boys that went missing. The mother happens to be sitting in the diner there, and they
Waiting.
have a great conversation with her, and you know, about how she's coping with her son being missing, and she mentions that this thing appeared in front of the theater that says police box, And then Josh, you text me, this quote, "Does that give you hope?" is what the doctor asks. She says, "It does, sir," which is another great reference to just the idea that this is uh, you know a
The doctor
symbol
brings
of
hope.
hope and you know making light in the darkness, I guess, is kind of what the TARDIS does.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful sentiment, and I I like that. And then you say, "LOL, she's Fred," which is another which is another Scooby Doo
Yeah,
reference.
as they're leaving the diner and heading. He's talking
Yeah,
to Belinda.
he's talking to Belinda, and yeah, she says, "Come on, Velma," and then I think 15 says, "Come on, Fred." Which is funny. You say, "Right, just the doctor." Love that she's still getting the hang of it. Yeah, I mean, it's not even a day since Belinda's met the doctor, and so she's still getting to know who this guy is, and so
Mm-hmm.
it would make sense that she's still questioning him a little bit. So then here we go. You point out it's been 3 months, but the popcorn still looks fresh on the floor. So
Oh,
it
so it
has
has
been
been 3 months. Yeah.
which the popcorn thing is a bit suspect. Is Reginald Pye, who is the only person that's there, is he just eating all the popcorn? Is he making fresh popcorn
Has
for
he just been
himself and scarfing
surviving
it
off
down?
popcorn for the last 3 months?
He could be popcorn and hot dogs, maybe. I mean, that's
Ugh.
pretty much my diet, anyways. So I would be
No
fine.
wonder he was ready to explode at the end.
Yeah, that's a good point. Spoiler alert, but that's a good point. All right, so this is a good one. Who framed Dr. Rabbit?
Yeah,
Uh,
so they're interacting with the cartoon for the first time. He steps out from behind the curtain and they just have a cartoon hanging out on stage as they walk around and you're like, what the hell is he?
yeah.
It's like, is he a hologram or what? He's like, no, I'm me. And they're making fun of his look and like, does he have like pig nose? Why is he blue? Like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, which was just very, very funny. Yeah, great. Who Framed Roger Rabbit comparison. You say his music is non-diegetic, which yeah is
A term we
a fourth.
recently learned last season.
Yes, and it's kind of a reference to the fourth wall being crumbled a little bit because when they're first confronting Mr. Ringading or Lux, the doctor yells "cut" at him to get him to stop, and then the doctor's like, "Why did I say cut? Why did that work?" Which is kind of like a fun. It kind of feels like the fourth wall is just cracking a little bit there. In that
Yeah.
moment.
Oh man, it does it shatter later.
And it does.
Um,
Yes, it does more than crack.
and it's so yeah. At this point, I think I was making the joke about him being non-diegetic because I really like that term now.
Oh yeah.
And they're talking to Mr. Ringading, and he keeps repeating, "Don't make me laugh," which is why that's my next text message.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, why should we not make him laugh? What happens if this guy laughs? Is it just like, is that what causes everyone to disappear? Like, is he just snap and go crazy? Because I'm still in the like Monster of the Week camp, and I'm only joking about it being something related to the Pantheon. I may. This is when I had to explain to Teddy what's going on with the next text message. Do you want to say what that is?
Yeah. So after "Don't Make Me Laugh," in caps, Josh texts the giggle and Harbinger, which that's the moment that we realize, oh shit,
Yep.
this is a mammoth force beyond our universe. This is a Pantheon member, and we hear his laugh, and that happens to be the same laugh that the toy maker put into the heads of everyone around the world. And
Yep.
also Maestro exhibited the same laugh. And as that's happening, the marquee outside
Falls
storm
apart.
makes it fall apart, and the harvest bringer, the letters fall down, and only showing
Harbinger.
a few remaining, and yeah, it spells out Harbinger, which is just
Yeah.
great fun.
This one hit me. This one
Yeah.
was legitimately surprising. Like I was not expecting the giggle at all, and I like flipped out in my seat and had to explain what the fuck was going on to my brother.
Yeah.
So
I
that this was a pause it, explain what was going on. All right, let's keep watching.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't put two and two together like with his catchphrase and the giggle. I didn't even.
Nope, could
I had
not,
no idea. So that was a really
couldn't
effective
see it
moment for
coming.
me. Yeah.
Same, absolutely.
And then it makes
I
me
love that
think too.
I love the Harbinger thing is just another through line for all these
Yeah, yeah,
Pantheon
yeah.
members.
No, yeah, it's pretty. It's rad. The only thing that I'm thinking is like, well, why didn't Sutek do the giggle? Can you imagine? Can you imagine him doing the giggle?
That would be creepy as fuck.
It would be. I think he's like too cool for that shit. Anyways, Josh, you say I like that the god of light here is depicted as a living cartoon instead of like a cloud of shiny gas. So yes, this is what we're seeing now. Lux manifesting as Mr. Ringading is the god of light. And yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a
Yeah,
really cool interpretation of this concept.
or just like any non corporeal being that you see in sci-fi is just depicted as like sparkles of light or wisps of nothing kind of
Yeah,
floating through a corridor. It's like to see it be something a little different, and it just happens to be a cartoon, and it actually works because it's
yeah,
light. It
definitely.
doesn't I can't really explain it more.
Yeah, no, I think it's like a just a pretty fun way to explore this concept. We get we meet Reginald Pye, who is the projectionist, who is hiding away in the projection room, um, kind of trapped by light, kind of trapping light from breaking out, and Lux from breaking out and harming more people. But they ask why hasn't he ran away? And
Meaning Reg.
Reg, yes, why hasn't Reginald the projectionist ran away from this mad god that lives in the screen? And the answer is pretty fucked up, honestly. Uh,
Yeah,
he has old tape reels of his deceased wife, and the god of light Lux has been bringing those to life for him.
hmm
uh so pretty much he's had more time with his beloved, and Lux is kind of using that as a carrot on a stick to keep him projecting him and keeping Lux alive. Yeah, he brought her back. You say, "Oof, that is some evil manipulation." It is.
yep.
Yes.
And
Um,
Reg gives us a very adamant statement here with if that thing is real, then so is she.
yeah, yeah, and the doctor there can't even argue with that. Like I think he's left speechless, and
hmm
it makes me think of like River. Makes me think of people the doctor's lost. I mean, you think of River
hmm
being a computer, uh, you know, virtual like ghost now, and his final interactions with her, and it's like it just feels like it might be resonating for him a little bit. Um,
Maybe.
so that was powerful. And yeah, now we have Lux, leaving the screen, again, and he says, I should have never learned perspective. He's walking up the aisles, and
Struggling.
he's struggling because he's actually a very small creature. He happens to take the form of a very tiny cartoon character, and he is now regretting that decision.
Um, you're a little underwater.
All right, how about now?
Better.
All right. Next up, you say, "What gods are these, Doc?" I forget who says that. Is that Belinda?
Uh, Probably.
We get a
It's
great
kind of
quip.
close to "What's up, Doc?"
Yes, it is.
Bugs Bunny's catchphrase, but
Yeah, it's a very Bugs Bunny-ish line. We have a great quip from Lux. He says, I'm a two-dimensional character. You can't expect backstory when they kind of question him about his origins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that's very funny.
gets so fucking meta in the best way that
Yeah,
I love,
I know.
and it's yeah, this is the start of that specifically, where it's yeah, he is literally two dimensional, but that's
Yeah,
also and a double entendre for like he's flat as a character,
yeah,
but not
yeah.
really, but like you know what I mean. His
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's. I mean, obviously, they're poking fun at, you know, because I mean, a lot of characters of Mr. Ring stature, there's not a lot behind the surface there.
yeah,
Obviously, when you're literally the god of light, there happens to be some more layers to peel back. But so next up, Josh, you text me animated exclamation question mark,
mm-hmm.
because what happens after they discover that the 15 missing people are trapped in reel of film, and uh, so what does Mr. Ringading do? Of course, he sends Belinda and the doctor into the animation zone. He sends them into the cartoon itself.
Yep,
And suddenly, Belinda and the Doctor are animated into cartoon characters right before our very eyes. Uh,
which is
this was
cool.
fucking awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is a really great sequence. As we kind of implied earlier, the animation style is a little bit different. That it's not the 1930s style; it is the
or
50s, 60s.
70s.
It's like
Yeah,
I think
50,
I
60 is
think
probably better. Yeah,
I think it's like I think it was more popular in like the mid 60s, but so I think
yeah,
yeah, the Hanna Barbera style, which is like Scooby Doo, which is kind of funny. And
fitting.
yeah, yeah, very fitting. This is like such a cool idea. Kind of, it's like why hasn't Doctor Who done this before? It's yeah, it was very cool. And then they quickly discover while they're in the animation zone that um that if they get deep and are honest and vulnerable, they become more three dimensional. Because this is another riff. This is kind of riffing on the same joke that Lux was making.
Yeah,
You know, if they dive into their backstory and become more well-rounded people, they
they literally
can
become more well-rounded.
they literally become more well-rounded and become 3D characters, which is very very clever. So you know, Belinda kind of reveals more of her story and how you know she's being vulnerable and honest. The doctor comes out with, "Oh yeah, you know, I lied earlier. We can't go back to Gallifrey. All my people are gone. Last of the Time Lords," and that does it for them. They jump back into life into 3D. They're still stuck
Well, you're
in film reel.
yep.
But Josh, I want to get your thoughts quickly about because this is the thing that you know in the fandom here, it's kind of a another divisive thing is bringing back the last of the Time Lords like trope or uh, sentiment, like the
Hmm.
Doctor kind of being sullen and uh, angsty about being the last of his kind when this was famously and triumphantly undone or rectified in the 50th anniversary special. Obviously, Chibnall, the previous showrunner, went and destroyed the Time Lords again. So it's not Russell T Davies' fault, but he is certainly playing on these tropes. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. It it didn't strike me as out of place when it popped up again. Um, maybe he just used that phrase again because that maybe that pain of believing he was the last one from all those years ago is still with him, and
Yeah,
he might fear that it's happened again. Um, and maybe it's just shorthand for like there's not many of us left, and it's easy for him to like I said, shorthand the
yeah,
pain that he's feeling.
yeah.
Um,
No, I think that's fair, and I don't really blame Russell for tackling this again because I mean it's he wasn't the one who kind of put it into motion for a second time. He's just kind of dealing with the cards that were dealt.
mhm.
But I do hope that there's like a payoff that it can be rectified again in some way.
Yeah,
We can.
me too.
So that's to be seen. But
So
just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, just a reminder, this is supposed to be going through the text messages, not really going through the episode. Because I feel like we're kind of backing down a little bit, and I don't want to sound like I'm like offended or like want to be self-centered about this because they're my text messages. But just want to keep it moving. Plus you also one of my favorite jokes that I made.
Okay, yeah. So we what did we? Next up we have LOL.
You were sad.
The audience beating
Nope.
the audience over. Wait,
Nope.
what was it?
You were sad and became three-dimensional.
Oh shit! You were sad and became three-dimensional. Oh man, how many dimensions is he going to have? Which yes is the idea that I mean, if you take into account all of the Doctor's traumas and life stories, I mean, what he might be.
The deepest character in the show named after him.
Yes.
Tap your mic.
So we got next up we have LOL beating the audience over the head with the character writing, which is true.
I think it's what we all just went through. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And now, Josh, this is the moment that we have all been waiting for, and maybe we're hoping wouldn't happen, or breaking the fourth wall, literally
breaking it. Yeah,
literally breaking the fourth wall.
They push it. Well, no, we're not quite there. So
we're
yeah,
building up to it right now.
Yeah. So
Josh, so the next one is I'm not Caribbean. I don't really know what that line. I can't remember what that line references.
I don't remember what it is either. Now it's been a week. Oh man.
But it sounds pretty funny. I think Belinda says that.
I think so.
Your continuity is terrible. So now they're trying to like.
It's they break through. They're on the stage, and this is when the they get assault or confronted by the lady from the diner and the cop.
Oh shit! Yes. Oh, thank you for reminding me. That's a great scene too. Yeah, where they think they've broken out. They think they've broken out of the film reel, and then the lady from the diner comes and is being really racist and brings the cop and says, "Oh, you're not allowed to be here." Blah 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 blah. They're gonna arrest him, and yeah, I think they call Belinda Caribbean, and the Doctor's like not having any of this. Like he's just the entire time he's like, nah. And then at the end he's like, yeah, I knew this was fake all along. That's an NYPD uniform.
Yeah,
not a Miami uniform. And then they're like,
I love that he just calls them out for the bad continuity. They're like, we're in Miami. He doesn't point out the racism or the complete 180 this woman from the diner has had apparently, and it's like, this guy's uniform is completely wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Which is exactly what people would like. It felt like exactly what you'd see on like IMDb.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a really funny line that's crossed this episode, and we get even more here. Josh, yeah, you say doesn't point out the personality change, but the uniform. And then now here we finally have, Josh, a literal fourth wall break. You say
he pushed the screen out.
Push the screen out. They walk out of a television. You say, "Oh my god, it happened."
I know that was quoting. That one's quoting. The people you're on the other side of the TV.
So I'll admit, Josh, you want to address the elephant in the room here? What is this? What does this fourth wall break consist of?
They literally step out of a television into a room of three people watching Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I was half expecting them to pretend to be like stepping into the living room with us, the actual audience in this reality. Yeah. And I was wondering how that was going to work because my parents' TV is like 10 feet off the ground.
They're going to fall. They're going to break an ankle. Yeah.
It was like 11:30 p.m. I wasn't thinking completely straight, but
you're like, oh no, here they come.
How are they going to do this?
They meet literal Doctor Who fans. And the fans.
How's it taking 60 years?
Yeah, it's taking 60 years. One's in a fez. One's wearing a fez. One's wearing a scarf. They're wearing Doctor Who merchandise. They all say that their favorite episode is Blink, which is hilarious. That's what you say next. You
Yes.
say blink. Um,
Yep. And
obviously,
everyone's
this
just
is a
like,
really
not, yeah, it was blink.
controversial. Yeah. And then 15's like, well, not the one that like when I stepped on a landmine, or the one with the goblins, or like, no,
No.
just blink,
Blink.
just blink.
Yeah.
And it's like a scene that like you mentioned spoilers there, and then we realize, oh, they're not real. They are manifestations of Lux, and it turns into like a very sentimental scene where they're like, well, we
Yeah.
know we're gonna die, but we're Doctor Who fans, and so we know you that you can defeat this guy. Like we're here with you and in your corner. And so it's very similar to the episode Extremis, where they're in a simulation where the 12th Doctor is in a simulation against the monks, and the simulated doctor is like, well, I might be a simulated doctor, but I'm gonna just call the real doctor and give him all this information so he defeats you in the real world. Um, and so that's kind of what that reminded me of, because yeah, of course Doctor Who fans are they're gonna be pure of heart. They're gonna be fighting fighting the good fight, and so that's what happens here. Um, and so it's very sentimental, and there's some great music in that scene. You say
Yep. I
this
said it was on
episode is
point.
incredibly meta. You say music is on point for that scene. Totally agreed. Yeah, that was fucking. I didn't know if because there were rumors about that happening. I'll be honest. I didn't know if it was going to work. I thought it worked really well. Um,
Yeah. I thought it
I
was
was,
a little awkward with a little awkward here or there, but it was otherwise a very well done scene.
yeah, I agree with that. Next up, you say burning the cellulose worked.
Yep. So they basically stopped the film from running, so that the arc light projector, we actually see it, the arc light sparking at one point when Reg is
Yeah.
setting up one of the film reels earlier in the episode. But it's a very hot source of light, and so it's gonna burn the cellulose, and they're like, well, we might get burned, this may be it, but nope, they popped out.
Yeah. Yep.
Doctor gets a little burned and
they made it out.
shows off his
Yes.
powers.
He shows off his powers. He says, "I got some extra energy." Josh, you respond. You say, "By generation, extra energy." The Doctor has some residual by generation energy and heals himself.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been a while, so it's like, wait a minute, this is coming up now.
It has been a while, but I mean, to be fair, like, I mean, the 11th Doctor could use his regeneration energy in his third season to heal River's wrist, and the 12th Doctor could use his regeneration energy with Davros in his second season. So it's like it's not beyond the pale. But
Okay,
yeah, it was interesting. And then I think Lux finds this out. He says, "You have light within you that builds a body."
Yeah, it's like, I think this moment is like, oh shit, now the Doctor's own biology is going to work against him here and makes him a target. Which isn't the first thing, but it's like, oh, now there's this light god who's very interested in the fact that the Doctor can make himself corporeal with light.
Yeah. So
or some sort of energy. So it's like, oh shit.
He gets an idea, and then you say he never goes outside, which is I don't know what the explanation there was. It was just because the light source wasn't.
Yeah, I don't remember either. It's like he was looking for a certain kind of light, I guess.
Yeah.
To feed himself. That's why he's kind of diminished from when he first shows up in the beginning of the episode. He's this giant monster crawling out of the screen, but then he shows up this little guy. It's because he's been feeding off projector light for the last 3 months, and it's not quite enough. I forget why they said he couldn't go outside at one point, but we do find out what his real plan is, and he just wants to nuke the planet.
You say, oh, he wants to nuke the Earth.
Yeah, he just wants to bathe in atomic light. It's like, oh, bringing it around to the beginning of the episode. That's smart. Yeah. But also, it's like, somehow the scariest yet the most basic villain plot in Doctor Who ever.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, and it's fitting for a two-dimensional villain. You say he knows what time it is. So pretty much here we are. The Lux is stealing the Doctor's regeneration energy. expanding. The Doctor is kind of coming up with ideas in his head. He tells everyone to run. You say now run, which is another classic Doctor line. And
Yep.
so he realizes it's the daytime now. They made it into the daytime, and so what's out? Oh, it's the sun. And so you said, "Oh God, hyperrealism." As he's expanding, we get like a hyperrealistic version of Lux, and it's disgusting.
While he's being bathed in like the Time Lord energy or something,
Yes, yes, yeah,
he becomes more three dimensional, and then
yep,
it just gets more and more detail added, and it becomes the disgusting hyperrealism from like the '90s, which is
yeah.
a little disturbing.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty gross.
You say also the nurse realizing he's a smoker and has matches. That's some great characterization. Which it was, yeah. That's Belinda discovering that Reginald is a smoker, to get the matches to burn up the reels and blow that place up, or blow a hole in
Mm-hmm.
that place. You say run. LOL. Two hearts and a cartoon heart. I just want to say that I loved the depiction of the regeneration energy or bigeneration energy getting sucked out of him, where we see the two hearts, and
Yeah,
that's a really cool
but then also getting that kind of
rendering of it.
X-ray view reflected in Lux as like a single
Yes,
cartoon heart.
yeah. That was really cool. Um, run. Oh yeah, it's all yours. What the flip is that? Also, are 15 people dead now? Are the 15 people dead now? So they
So
aren't. It turns out we find out.
yeah,
And so this creature he keeps on expanding and expanding and
because
expanding.
he's
He's
exposed to
outside now,
sunlight,
exposed to sunlight.
and so
You
that's
say
what
the
the
light
all
of
yours is.
the light of
What the flip is that
creation.
is
I am everything, and I am nothing. And that's
goodbye.
goodbye. As he expands and becomes one with the universe, essentially.
Yeah, that was an interesting resolution.
Yeah.
Because he basically gets supercharged to the point of expanding past the sun, and then he's powered by all the other stars in the galaxy, then all the galaxies in the universe, and just grows out of control. And it's like, huh, that's weird because if he's a god on the pantheon of light, then presumably all the light in the universe would be his domain in the first place. So suddenly being exposed to all that kind of fuses him with it. It's weird. Like, does he still exist or is he nothing? And it's
I think the answer is both.
he's yeah. It's he maybe he grows to a point where he just can't influence things on Earth anymore.
Yeah, I think he's like too big. He's like too big uh to manipulate events that are so small, I guess, almost.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's like a very weird kind of Zen solution to this problem, and I mean, would really only work with this pantheon of gods story arc. And
Yeah.
I think it was kind of a gamble that the Doctor took. That he's like, oh well, I think he's just gonna keep on, he's just gonna keep on growing and growing until he's too big
Yeah.
to really harm anything.
It does also tie in with how he's been defeating the other members of the pantheon. He beat the toy maker in a game by
Yeah.
not quite cheat. Didn't cheat. He just played the game. Um, he beat the maestro in a music battle, and then he beat Zuketh by killing the god of death.
Yes.
And he outshone the god of light, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Using the sun.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a fair summary there. I think you're right. You say, "Am I going crazy?" Does somebody say that, or is that you asking if you're going crazy?
I think that's quoting one of the guys coming out of the diner.
Yeah. Yeah, they all saw that happen. You say, "Oh, good, they survived somehow." The 15 people that were missing, they get restored, and they make their way out of the theater.
But Reg, who was in the same room that the film containing the 15 missing people were in, he's dead.
Yes,
he died in the explosion.
He sacrifices himself, which is very sad but noble end for Reggie. Josh, you say, wait, is it Tommy Lee Jones? Like the actor?
So Yeah, because I could not remember the name of the lady in the diner, but
Oh, okay.
I put together that she's been saying her son is Tommy Lee this whole time,
Yeah.
and he's in a movie theater. And it's like, what name? He's the only named missing person this entire time. So it's like,
Yeah, I think that's true.
that's why I'm thinking about it in the first place. It's like, there's only one Tommy Lee I know of associated with the movies, and that's the actor Tommy Lee Jones. Um, so I don't know. I don't know where he's from. I don't know where he grew up. I don't know what. I can't remember the name of what her of the. I can't remember the family name of the woman from the diner and Tommy Lee. So it's just like, well, stupid little question.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel could it be a Tommy Lee Jones origin story?
Maybe.
Uh, maybe that's why he became an actor. I feel like the timeline kind of matches.
That was the other thing. Is like the timeline could
yeah.
work.
Good work.
Would be a nice little Easter egg.
That's how you get Men in Black. Goodbye to you, 52.
And they got the flash in the they got the flash thing in Men in Black where the light makes you forget.
Yes, very true. Very true. So yeah, they say goodbye to 1952, and as the Doctor and Belinda leave in the TARDIS, Josh, you text me, you say Mrs. Flood.
Yeah, she just shows up in Miami. What the fuck?
She's just in Miami 52. What? How did she get? This is the first time, Josh, that we've seen her in a different
outside
setting.
of London 24,
yes.
25.
Yes, exactly. So now we know something ain't right here. She's not just a friendly neighbor.
And she looks the same, aside from her outfit.
Yes, yeah.
So either she is not aging, or she's bouncing around like the Doctor somehow.
I mean, does she have a TARDIS? Does she have a different way of time traveling?
Vortex manipulator?
Could be. And so she says to the crowd, watch this. You say, show ends May 24th.
Yeah,
that's something that she says to the audience, and I mean it's a fourth wall ish break because she's saying it to the crowd of people there on the street, and also to the to us, to the watchers. Which that happens to be the day that the finale starts. So
that it starts.
That it starts. Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Man, that finale is gonna be like. Literally the show, they're gonna be like running around the set of the show.
Yeah, right.
And,
I know.
Like dodging the cameras and stuff, and it's gonna be so extra meta. And then they're gonna be like, they gotta go like fight the head of the BBC or something.
Well,
and
yeah.
It turns out it's like the Grand Intelligence or something like that. It's in charge of the BBC.
It's gonna be the gods of story, and it's gonna be Russell T Davies, Stephen Moffat, and Chris Chibnall are gonna be making cameos.
It'd be like the She-Hulk when she had to go like talk to Kevin Feige at one point or something like that.
I heard about that. I don't know if we're going there, but it would be interesting. It would be interesting. I mean, if there's one show that can make it work, it's Doctor Who.
Maybe.
You say trick of the light, which is what Mrs. Flood says when the TARDIS
about the TARDIS disappears. Which is a nice little wit.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Given this episode's topic.
Yeah,
sorry,
absolutely.
I keep trying to find something on the floor.
Yeah, so let's see. And then just some falling action here for you. You mentioned you think our friend, our other podcast co-host, is going to hate this episode.
That was my initial theory, yes. But then you pointed out that he enjoyed the Goblin episode, Ruby's first episode.
Yeah.
So
he's tough to pin down. He is. It'll be interesting.
He is either going to love this episode.
Eventually we'll have him on the podcast. Definitely.
He's either going to absolutely love this episode as much as I have, or he's going to despise it. And I don't think there's going to be any in between.
I can agree with that for sure. You said, "Oh no, the next time covered up the middle eight," which is
no. They're still there.
Part of the they're still. Oh shit, they're still there. Yes, which references the fucking fans,
Doctor Who fans.
In the fourth wall break. The Doctor Who fans, they realize they're still alive. Like,
yeah.
What?
After commenting on the episode.
Yes, after commenting on the and Josh, like this kind of does make me think that there's going to be more fourth wall breakage here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another member of the Pantheon, because we had 2 last
Yeah.
season, so maybe we'll get 2 or 3 this season,
Yeah, no, I think
and maybe
that's
some
very
will
possible.
return. I mean, Maestro and
Yeah.
Toymaker aren't dead; they're just trapped.
Yeah, yeah. They very well could return. And I mean I like these fans. I'd be happy to see him come back.
Yeah.
And then here we go. You say, "Oh no, the next time covered up the middle 8, which is your favorite part of the show." This was
Yep.
so you hate this episode pretty much. You're rating it a 0 because the middle 8 was covered up.
Nah, just a mild disappointment. But I think it's the first time that we didn't get the middle 8 in the credits for a couple seasons, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied.
Yeah, you know, it's had a good run. It's still around.
And it was
then,
it was a doozy of a fucking next time episode though, or preview.
yeah. So then we just get your reaction to the next time trailer. You say, "Next time is definitely a horror episode. My gut reaction is the waters of Mars, or maybe, just maybe, Jenny returns." Good predictions.
Mm-hmm.
You say, "Trying to explain this episode to your brother, since he watched it with me, and I realized that Jenny could be a candidate for Mrs. Flood, which Jenny, the doctor's daughter,
Oh
could,
yeah.
yeah,
I think we
potentially
went over
be."
this a little bit
We
last episode.
did. You
Last
talked about it a
episode.
little bit.
This is
Um,
this is when I came up with it.
yeah.
Because I wrote this before we recorded the first episode.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah, so we're catching up here.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. You say, "I'm still mostly convinced she's Susan, though."
Absolutely.
Which
Again, we covered this last episode.
Yeah, totally fair. And that is about that. Josh, any final thoughts on Lux and the season so far?
Sorry, I'm just following up with our actual back and forth after the episode, see if there's anything to bring out. This is when you actually mentioned you want to do this podcast.
Oh yeah, I'm like, we should do a Doctor Who podcast.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. The Pantheon episodes are really pushing what Doctor Who and its boundaries are, and it kind of needed that. And it's been a fun exploration of what Doctor Who can be. And I had a lot of fun watching this episode. There were a lot of twists and turns that if you're paying attention, you can pick out, but not paying attention, but if you're really, really tuned in, you can pick them out. But it's a good mix of like small things that the really dedicated people can pick out, and the really big in your face moments that are great reveals. Like I said, I had no idea this was going to be a Pantheon episode going into it, but I mean there were hints everywhere, and I missed the Harbinger. I always miss the Harbinger. The giggle was just an absolute shock. I was not expecting that to come back at all. And Lux / Mr. Dingling was a campy, weird-ass villain who just worked somehow for me. It was...
Yeah.
He was menacing. He was like, how the fuck are they going to beat basically a hologram, even though he's not a hologram?
But Belinda thinks he is at first.
Yeah, like I said, not a hologram. So yeah, it was a good episode. I liked it. I really did like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for pushing the boundaries of what Doctor Who can do. I think it's the best when it is pushing those boundaries and even breaking them sometimes. I think that's what Russell T Davies came back to do, and he's been doing a great job at it. So yeah, I loved it. Can't wait to see more of the Pantheon. And folks, next time on the episode, we'll be talking about season 2, episode 3, The Well. If you like what you've heard so far, please subscribe. You can actually we're on Twitter now at Who Dudes Pod. You can follow us.
Twitter.
Well, because I'm still on there and I'm a sucker. And there's a Doctor Who fan community there that is active. So
fair.
You can, if you have questions, comments, concerns, you can share with us your thoughts on Lux. Shoot us an email at whodudespod@gmail.com. Hopefully I get all this right. We have other podcasts. If you want to check those out, you can check those out on corrupttv.com. And in the meantime, just give us a nice review on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify. But most importantly, folks, until next time.
Dude, I was not ready for that again. Oh no.
I got this one. I got this one. Don't make me laugh. Sweet. All right. Stream over.
All right.